Hey, welcome to today's episode of the podcast. We are going to be talking today about how prioritizing your healing journey with body and food will really benefit your loved ones. For those of you who are new here, I'm Heather McConaughey, and I'm a trained registered nurse turned nutritionist and intuitive eating counselor. And my goal is to help you heal your relationship to body and food using the 10 tools of intuitive eating without focusing on the scale. Okay, so today we're going to chat about the hidden cost of not taking action. I think it's so easy when we think about starting a new journey or a program or an endeavor or a goal in life. We only think about what's it going to cost me to do it? But we often don't think about, what's it going to cost me not to do it? When I make decisions in my life now, I try to always think about both sides of things. I try to think about, okay, what's the cost of taking action in this area of my life? But also, what's the cost of not taking action in this area of my life? This principle helped me meet my partner, right? The cost of taking action involved being vulnerable, potentially being rejected, feeling uncomfortable feelings, feeling social anxiety. But the cost of not taking action was like being alone the rest of my life, not finding a partner, not having a husband, not having a family. And that freaked me out. That was enough to kick my butt into gear and be like, okay, I'm okay with the cost of taking action. So today I want to challenge you to really think about what's the cost of not taking action and prioritizing your healing journey with food, okay? Before, when your goal was weight loss, it was easy to prioritize it. You might have felt the pressure of, sweating for the wedding and looking a certain way in your wedding photos. You might have felt, that you wanted to look a certain way on your honeymoon. You might have felt the impending pressure of summer and bikini body, hot girl season coming. You might have felt another birthday coming around the corner and a sense of panic that motivated you to take action. But when your goal changes from weight loss, from changing your body shape, from making your body smaller, from shrinking your body, to creating a healthy, sustainable relationship with food and with your body, it can occur as not urgent. Other things can take center stage in our lives. Other things that you want to spend money on, or time on, or energy on. For example, your house. You might want to remodel that bathroom, right? Or your kids' activities, right? Fall's coming. You need to invest in the gymnastics class. Or travel. You want to plan a spring break. It's easy to prioritize other things rather than a healing journey because, let's be honest, healing can be uncomfortable. Decorating or upgrading your home does not challenge you mentally and emotionally at a deep level. It's a surface level distraction for you. And I would assert that pursuing weight loss is also a surface level distraction. It does not actually force you to do the deep inner healing work that's required to permanently have a healthy relationship with body and food. It can seem like, focusing on my kids and what they need seems selfless at first sight. But again, I want to challenge you that it's potentially a way to continue your pattern of self-neglect and avoid dealing with yourself. It's easy to hide behind your children and say they need these things. I'm doing it because I love them versus you know what? I actually am a priority here and I need to prioritize my own self-care. You can direct all your attention to molding and shaping your kids' futures and avoid confronting, your own weaknesses. Avoid confronting your own character deficits and your own need for healing. You might also say, you just don't have time for this healing journey right now. Again, this is just a smokescreen excuse for not wanting to delve into the deeper healing work and or being afraid of that you might gain weight, being sad to give up pursuing weight loss or altering your body, being resistant to giving that up, not being ready to. Those are all things that could be going on for you. The truth is we always have time for things that are important to us, whether it's working, getting it on with our spouse, hanging out with our kids, watching Netflix, decorating, right? Going to the drive-thru. We always have time for the things that are actually important to us. The question is really, what's the bigger priority in your life? Is it living distracted or is it living healed? Look, it's okay to be afraid at the beginning of this healing journey. I was afraid too. It's scary on multiple levels, right? Because one, a lot of us are just terrified of gaining weight. I know I was, okay? So I know I can't be the only one. If I'm having that experience, I know some of y'all are having that experience too. Look, if you could just eat whatever you wanted and like you wouldn't gain weight and your body would stay this perfect way that you wanted, like there'd be no diet industry, right? Like no diets would exist. But you kind of want your cake and you want to eat it too. You want to have the body you want, but you also want to eat whatever you want. So you're like, I need to find something sustainable. And you're just not confronting the fact that those two things are actually not, they don't go together. They're like oil and water. They separate, okay? So look, this journey could be scary to you because it could involve accepting and staying the weight that you're at, which might currently feel uncomfortable to you. It might seem scary to let go of pursuing weight loss. It might seem scary to let go of trying to control your weight and your body. It might seem like you're giving up or you're letting go or you're letting yourself down. It might be scary to think about how your eating might be if you truly allowed yourself to intuitively eat. Will you binge eat all the time? Will you just eat candy? Will you just eat quote unquote junk food? Will you become even more unhappy with your body, and will this backfire? It might feel scary to invest in yourself, to prioritize yourself. What if you don't follow through? What if you don't prioritize it? What if you waste your time and therefore your money pursuing this healing journey? What if you regret even starting this process? I know for me, I went through so many conflicting emotions during my healing journey, from excitement to anxiety to anger to regret to disappointment to hope to, ultimately healing, ultimately a place of acceptance, of surrender, of admitting that dieting had actually never worked for me, long term, and that it had actually just worsened my mental health, and it had negatively impacted my physical health over time. Okay. So it's totally normal to have these fears. The fact that you have these fears means that you are seriously considering this healing journey, which is a huge first step. That means you have already made the first steps in the healing journey, because you are starting to realize and put together the puzzle pieces that pursuing intentional weight loss isn't the right solution for you anymore. You are actually considering the alternatives, such as this healing journey. This is progress to celebrate. Now the next step is to get really present to what not starting this healing journey is costing you. Because while it always costs things to start a journey, it also always costs things to not start a journey. So let's talk about you first, okay? You delaying this journey will continue to affect you mentally and emotionally. The longer you delay this healing journey, the longer that you will experience negative emotions with your body and chronic body dissatisfaction, which will contribute to anxiety and depression, among other mental health symptoms. Think about how negatively you talk to your body on a regular basis, unconsciously, without even perceiving all the thoughts you're having. Imagine if you said those thoughts out loud to a friend or a child every day for years on end. Don't you think that child would feel emotionally abused and probably struggle with depression and anxiety? And yet we're confused why we have anxiety and depression, and yet we're also actively engaged in dieting, mindset, culture, and behaviors. Okay, there is a connection, y'all. As a woman, you are already at increased risk for depression and anxiety due to genetic and hormonal implications. And then you layer in dieting behaviors and mentality on top of that, and you dramatically increase your risk for worsening mental health. A lot of women do not connect their bad mental health symptoms with dieting, because I know I didn't. I had no idea that my anxiety and depressive symptoms were directly connected to my history of pursuing intentional weight loss. And no therapist ever brought it up as a possibility. which both shocks me and makes me angry and upset, okay? So it was only when I gave up that pursuit was I delighted and surprised to see my mental health improve. Now, I don't know your unique mental health situation, and I can't promise that it will just, poof, magically solve all your issues because, we all have micro traumas and big traumas in our history. We all have different socioeconomic classes that impact our mental health situations we're in, relationships, etc. But I can tell you this, staying stuck in dieting mentality and behaviors will not improve your mental health symptoms at all. Okay, being skinnier will not make you happier. Let's just be real about it. Now, let's talk about your family. If you have kids, pursuing this healing journey should be your number one priority for your family and your children's physical and mental health. Even if you think you aren't teaching your kids dieting behavior and mentality intentionally, you most definitely are perpetuating those beliefs and messages if you have not healed them in yourself. Your children observe you. They learn by how you relate to your body and eating, not by what you tell them to do. Children learn by modeling an example, not simply instruction. If you have daughters of any age, especially, prioritizing this healing journey should absolutely be at the top of your list, way before decorating or remodeling your house or taking a family vacation. This is the kind of investment in your kids that affects them profoundly at their root level for the rest of their life. Healing your relationship to body and food is truly a priceless investment for the future effect it has on your kids, your grandchildren, and future generations. If you want to break generational dieting, you have to be the one to start doing this healing work. Also, you not healing your relationship to body and food negatively impacts your spouse and partner. They are negatively affected by your body dissatisfaction, even if they don't verbalize it. You might be withholding sex or just not being free sexually with your partner because of your body dissatisfaction. They might not speak up and say it bothers them, but it does, ladies. Your partner might not say anything to you about your relationship to your body because he knows it's a sensitive topic to raise with his woman. But if you are inhibited in the bedroom because you don't feel good in your skin, that is costing you and your partner intimacy, deeper love and trust, and a more solid bonded relationship. Okay. So instead of trying to fix your body or change your body to develop intimacy, why not try healing your relationship to your body and watch that positively impact your sexual intimacy with your spouse? I invite you to brainstorm how you not pursuing this healing journey is negatively affecting your family and partner, because I promise you that there are things that are, that you're not seeing that are happening behind the scenes because of your unhealed issues with body and food. Also, it affects your friends and colleagues. When you continue to live unhealed in your body, then you consciously or unconsciously perpetuate negative messages to your friends and colleagues. You are complicit in diet culture and contributing to the problem. And that was my wake-up call, to realize that me living unhealed wasn't just affecting me. It was affecting my clients. It was affecting you as a listener of this podcast. It was affecting my friends, my colleagues, my acquaintances. It was affecting so many more people than me. And I realized that when I prioritized the time, energy, and money into my own healing journey, that it would 1,000% positively impact and have a healing ripple effect on all the women that I interact with in my life, both online and in person. Look, it's also costing you financially. It's costing you therapy bills that could be reduced if your body dissatisfaction was healed at the root level. It's costing you financially because you keep investing in weight loss programs, meal delivery services, gym memberships, fat burning treatments, supplements, hormone testing, gut health protocols, all in an effort to lose the weight and get a handle on this. But really, you're just spending money on a short-term solution, like a Band-Aid, because long-term weight loss efforts fail 95% of the time. Just remember that 95% of people who pursue intentional weight loss will either gain all or even more of that weight back in 1 to 5 years. It's also costing you in potential health bills. You might think being a higher weight puts you at health risks, and I hear that from women. They're like, but what if I need to lose weight for health reasons? What if my BMI is too high? But research indicates that your health is more negatively impacted by weight cycling, gaining and losing weight, and weight stigma, which is where healthcare providers and society don't treat you with respect or provide the best medical care because they stigmatize you based on your size, that increases your risk of health issues, most likely due to the stress on the body and mind that both cause. So the stress of living an active dieting or background dieting mentality can negatively impact your health and cause health bills now and in the future. So while this healing journey will take something from you, right, you will need to invest some time, some energy, some finances in order to heal. It is a very worthwhile investment and one that will reap dividends for the rest of your life and have a ripple effect on the people around you that you love the most. I truly believe that, me healing my relationship with body and food positively is impacting all the people around me. Like, I think about how if I hadn't taken the steps to heal my relationship with body and food, I might have never met my partner. And I think about the positive things that have happened in his life since we've started dating and the healing that he's experiencing in certain areas of his life. And that I have played a part in that just by meeting him and being in his life. And like, wow, what if I had not actually prioritized my healing journey? I think about how if I hadn't taken this step, I wouldn't be able to teach it to you. I wouldn't be able to help women now heal their relationship to body and food. So I really invite you to think about, how will it positively impact all the people in your life if you actually prioritize this healing journey and make it your number one priority for the rest of 2022? If this sounds like something you are ready for, or you're at least curious and you just want to kind of talk it through, book a call with me via the link in my Instagram bio. You can chat with me for 15 to 20 minutes and we can just learn more about you, what's going on for you, and really see if my body attunement coaching program is the right fit for you. I'm just taking 2 to 4 clients in August. So if this sounds like something you want, go ahead, click the link in my Instagram bio and book a call. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you love the podcast, if it's positively impacted you in any way since you've been a listener, would you please rate and review the podcast? It helps more women find the podcast and helps spread the message of healing your body and food, healing your relationship to body and food, and really rejecting diet culture. So I'd really appreciate if you would do that. As always, feel free to pop over on Instagram, send me a message, let me know what your biggest takeaway was from today's episode, and I will talk to you again soon.